بسم الله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله. رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقه قولي. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. We are continuing with our revision, Nahwu revision. Today, inshallah, we're studying chapter 9, which is going to be about negation. So negating sentences and negating, different kinds of sentences. But before we even go to chapter 9, because I know we left off with some exercises last week. That was supposed to be your homework. So I don't know if there's anything you guys encountered that you wanted us to take a look, or is there any particular exercise that maybe you were struggling with, or you want us to do that? We can be able to take maybe 5-10 minutes to just do that, if there's anything on passives, because we just concluded last week, we concluded passives. So if there's any question, if there's any clarification on passives, we can take maybe 5 minutes to do that before we start negation. Okay, I think there's nothing, so we can continue. We can start negation. So chapter 9, this is where we are. So we have just 2 more chapters to finish basic Nahu, and then we can start Sarf. Okay, so that's a bit exciting. So the vocabulary, this is something you can just familiarize yourself, because it's not easy to look at a vocabulary list. All of us at a different level when it comes to vocabulary. So this, I think, is a more personal exercise that you can do on your own. Just familiarize yourself with these words. Make sure at least you know 50%. So of every chapter, make sure at least you know 50%. That's good enough, a place to start. Then you can keep going back to that. And then we have al-mustalahat. Who remembers what al-mustalahat means?
Terminology.
Terminology. So it comes from istalaha, yastalihu, istilahan, fahuwa mustalihun. And this is the isim maf'ul. So it's the second line, the passive line, from iqtaraba family. Again, we'll get to sarf, but also I just like to mention here and there so that you actually understand why sarf is so important, how these words can come about. So that's terminology, mustalahat. Istalaha actually means to agree. So to agree, then al-mustalahat is the thing that you agree on. So terminology is something that we agree, this is how it's defined. So that's kind of just how it came about. Okay, so we have la an-nafiya, which is what we are going to look at today. This is the la of negation. It either comes before an ism or a fi'al. So the way you negate, you can use a la an-nafiya, that's one way, and it comes before an ism or a fi'al and does not change its status. Then you have la, by this, it means that it doesn't have any effect on the isim or the fi'al. It does nothing. If the isim was in rafa status, it will remain rafa. If it was in jar, it's going to remain jar. Does nothing to it. Okay. So, and then you have la an-nafiyatu lil jins, which means the la of categorical negation. So this means absolutely no. It has no room for any exception. Like it's a complete no. Okay. And when this comes, it only comes before an isim, and it makes the isim light and nasab. And we're going to look at some examples to that as well. And then you have la an-nahiya. We're pretty familiar with this one because وَالنَّهْيُ مِنْهُ, we keep saying that in sarf. So this is forbidding, the lam of forbidding. And this one makes the fi'al mudari' lightest, majzoom. Because we know when you forbid somebody, you take the amr and then you kind of change it from the amr to forbidding. And the amr is always lightest, so the forbidding is also lightest. Then you have al-huruf al-za'ida. These are extra words or extra huruf. So these are huruf that are added onto a part of the sentence for emphasis, but it does not change its role in the sentence. For example, if it's added to a khabar, it's still going to be a khabar. It will not change and make it something else, for example. It cannot make it, like for example, you have ba zaida. Ba is harf jar, but when it's zaida, it doesn't have any impact. We don't consider it, like for example, if it comes with a khabar, we won't say this is a muta'alliq bil khabar. We will say this is still a khabar and the ba is zaida. So it doesn't have any impact, grammatical implications to that. So those are just the vocabulary. Let's see what else we can be able to just look at before we do some exercises. So of course, before I go there, before I go there, I just want to mention something. When we're talking about negation, we're looking at negation in 3 ways. So the first one is we're looking at Jumlah Ismiyyah negation, or let's start with Jumlah Fi'aliyah negation. So we have Jumlah Fi'aliyah negation, and then the second one we're talking about Jumlah Ismiyyah negation, and then we have the third category where it's either or, like it's a Jumlah Ismiyyah or a Jumlah Fi'aliyah. So this is like shared, okay? So when it comes to Jumlah Fi'aliyah, you have, well, we'll say three categories. So we have the Madi, we have the Mudari', and then we have, of course, the Mudari' is the present and also the future tense, Mustaqbal, which in Arabic doesn't really exist. It's just a part of Mudari'. So you can either negate a Madi, or you can negate a Mudari', or you can negate a sentence in the future, which is also still Mudari', but it uses a different kind of negation. Okay. Then you have Jumla Ismiyyah negation. So when it comes to Jumla Ismiyyah negation, there are 2 ways of negating a Jumla Ismiyyah. You can either use ma, or you can use laysa. Okay. And we will take a look, I think, at each one so that we can all have some summary. And then when it comes to a shared kind of negation, these are tools that you can use to negate both Jumla Ismiyyah and Jumla Fi'aliyah. So for example, here in Jumla Fi'aliyah, when you're negating Madi, there are only 2 ways to negate a Madi. There are also 2 ways to negate a Mudari'. There's only 1 way to negate a future tense. So here we have lan. Madi, we have, what do you guys think? Any ideas? How do we negate a Madi?
Lam.
Yeah, lam plus Mudari'. So, and then the second one?
Ma plus Madi.
Ma plus Madi. So I just call it ma. And I think, yeah, ma plus Madi. And then Mudari', we have
La and Ma.
Yeah, la and ma. So you see, this is how you negate the Madi. That's how you negate the Mudari'. This is how you negate the future. This is how you negate Jumla Ismiyyah. But sometimes you can have something that is shared between Jumla Ismiyyah and Jumla Fi'aliyah. And this one is when you have the structure of ma plus illa, or in. Let's make it this a plus. Or in plus illa. So that's basically negation for you. These are the 3 key areas in negation. You're either negating a Jumla Fi'aliyah, or you're negating a Jumla Ismiyyah, or you're using a shared tool of negation. So it could either be ma plus illa. You can use it to negate a Jumla Ismiyyah, or you can use it to also negate a Jumla Fi'aliyah. Same thing with in plus illa. So I hope that's clear.
Sisters,
Yeah.
can we use la for Jumla Ismiyyah also for negation?
For Jumla Ismiyyah, la.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Can you? Unless you Jumla Ismiyyah. Let me just confirm. I'm not sure, but I'm not.
Isn't la ilaha? Wouldn't that count as?
That is categorical no. So that will come with la nafiyatul lil jins. That is lam of categorical no. I'm trying to think. Let's just see what else is there. Let's go to negating Jumla Ismiyyah. So you can use, so what I know is ma laysa. So ma can be just ma, which is the mubtada marfu, and then the khabar mansub, or laysa. I don't think you can use la. So for example, if I say هذا قلم, that would be a Jumla Ismiyyah. So I cannot say لا هذا قلم. I can say ما هذا قلم, or I can say ليس هذا قلم. So you cannot use ma, I don't think. You can use la, sorry. Yeah. So this is basically it. Now, of course, each one of this has its own rules, how to do it. So of course, lam, we know its lightest harf when it comes to mudara, right? We learned about that in lam, lamma, wal, falli, those harfs. But it is used with the mudara to mean the madi. So this is kind of just where you have to, think backwards. It's used with the mudara to mean madi. So lam yadhhab, for example, he did not go. It doesn't mean he will not go or he does not go. It means he did not go. Lam yadhhab. So mudara used to negate madi. So that's just something you need to, like, I don't know, tell your brain, okay, this, like, rewire your brain. Stop thinking the mudari, think in the madi. It's like idha. You know how Ustad conditioned us to think idha in the future? So you gotta think lam in the past. Yeah. So that's just how, complicated the Arabs made our lives. But alhamdulillah. So that's how lam comes. And of course, ma, when you're using ma, it's just ma doesn't do anything to the madi or anything. It doesn't require anything. Lam makes it majzoom. Ma does not do anything. So that's madi. Then you have mudari'. When you're having
Sister,
mudari',
sorry to interrupt. So what does this indicate? La nafiya, the la of negation comes before an ism or a fi'l, does not change its status.
It doesn't come before the la of categorical negation only comes
the
with
first
an
one, la nafiya.
Oh yeah, comes before an ism or a fi'l. I don't know then. Oh,
This confused me. So.
Oh yeah. Huh. I don't know. I don't know what they meant here, because I don't think it comes with a, unless it's the should, but that's also a fi'l.
Then they should not have mentioned this in there.
Yeah, they shouldn't have mentioned ism here, because this is really misguiding, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. This is confusing.
Maybe it's typo or something.
I think it's a typo. But we shall look through the text. Although the text does not mention la, it only mentions two. And even when Ustad was teaching us, he only mentioned the two.
Because they have mentioned or also, so it's kind of, is it a typo or they are just saying this or this? Because they have mentioned or also there.
Unless maybe they're trying to say la nafiyatul lil jins is a part of that. This is like the broader category, and this is like, I don't know, because I don't understand.
Specific.
Yeah. Yeah, that's very interesting. But I missed that. Interesting. Okay. So that's that. And then you have mudari'. So when you're negating mudari', again, you have the la. So la yadhhab, for example. La yadhhabu. La yadhhab. I think this is where you will have that should structure. Let's just take a look. Let's just take a look at the text and see what. So yeah, you can see when you're negating past tense, you only have lam plus mudari', ma plus madi. Okay. And of course, this one makes the mudari' majzoom. That's basically it. And then when you're dealing with past tense, it's going to be la plus mudari', ma plus mudari'. La yadhabu, ma yadhabu. Simple. Nothing to it. So the only difference between la and ma is something that Ustad mentioned. La is just normal negation, like I'm negating, but ma is more of a refutation, like more emphatic, like no, this did not happen, or no, don't go, something like that. So ma has more emphasis in it.
Like kind of not at all, right?
Yes,
Absolutely
not at all.
No.
Yeah, absolutely no, not at all. No way. Yeah. So that's ma. And then when you're negating future, you only use lan. There's no other one. There's only lan. Lan yadhhab means he will not go. So when you have the noon, it's will not. And it's not it doesn't make the مضارع مجزوم, it makes it منسوب. لن يذهب, as opposed to the ماضي would be لم يذهب. Okay, so that's kind of just the difference between future, past, present, and future.
Light heart, right?
Yes,
light
this is
heart.
light. Yeah. أن لن لكي إذا حتى. So أن لن, that will be the harf here. Now, when you're negating Jumlah Ismiyyah, we mentioned there are two ways of negating Jumlah Ismiyyah. So you have ma and you have laysa. But you can also have the same structure with a ba zaida. Remember we said the huruf zaida, these are just extra huruf. They are harfs that are extra, that do not change the i'rab of the sentence, but they will make the word majroor, for example. So that's just what it is. So ma can come with ba, laysa can come with ba.
They're used for emphasis, right?
Yes, they're used for emphasis. So this is just to add more meaning, to add extra emphasis to the sentence. Now, the thing about negating Jumla Ismiya, we haven't talked about laysa and kana and its sisters, but laysa is part of kana and its sisters. And we know that kana makes the mubtada rafa and the khabar nasab. We know that that's what it does. So the same thing here, laysa is going to make the mubtada marfu' and the khabar is going to be mansub, unless it comes with a ba zaida. Same thing. Now this ma, normally ma does not do this kind of job, right? Normally ma does not have this kind of effect, unless it's ma shartiya or something like that. But because this ma is acting like laysa, is going to also make the mubtada marfu' and it's going to make the khabar mansub, because it's trying to copy laysa in its job. So it's copying everything. It's like, oh, so when you're negating, this is what you do with the mubtada, and that's what you do with the khabar. Okay, fine, I'm going to copy you as well. So that's kind of just what ma does. And it's like, okay, fine, let's do this. Let's make the mubtada marfu' rafa' and let's make the khabar nasab. Done. So that's just basically what you need to know about negating Jumla Ismiya. Yes.
Can you please explain it again? I just missed it, I guess. The difference that you were saying,
Okay.
laysa and ma, like it copies something you were saying.
Okay, so Laysa, you know about Laysa being one of the sisters of Kana. And we know that Kana and its sisters, they will make the mubtada rafa, which we'll call ism Kana. And then the khabar will become nasab. Yeah. So that's what it would do. But ma normally does not have any effect.
Yes.
Yeah. But because ma is trying to copy Laysa in its job, Laysa is meant to negate. That's the job of Laysa. Like it's known as, there's no other function for laysa. Unlike ma, you have other functions. Like you have so many different kinds of ma. Ma mawsula, ma mastariya, ma nafiya, ma, yeah? So all different kinds of ma. So because this ma is trying to copy laysa in its job, it's also going to copy everything that laysa does. So laysa says, what we do here is we make the mubtada marfu' and we make the khabar mansub. Then ma is like, okay, so that's how you do negation. Fine. I'm going to make the mubtada marfu' and I'm going to make the khabar mansub. So when you have ma nafiya, this is what is going to happen. You're going to have a mubtada that is in rafa status, and then you're going to have the khabar in nasab status. That clear?
Because normally ma does not have any effect.
Yes, unless it's ma shartiya or like ma that has some effect. Like, but normally, yeah, ma does not have any effect. Yeah. So,
Just I have a question.
Yes.
The question was la with an ism. So in Fatiha we read wala dallin. So what kind of wala is that?
That's a good question. Yeah.
So it's not la nafiya lil jins.
No, it's
Wala
not.
dallin is plural. So
but
so
that's
it
not
may
la. Yes, that's lam. That's just lam. Wala dolin. That's not la.
I've heard in some of the lectures, Ustad told about this. The Arab used to negotiate like ghairi plus either or aw, something like that. But Quran uses it like it's a new thing that Quran uses ghairi with la for negation. like Arab didn't ever use that. So I think it's not a regular language. It's a rhetorical, I think, or balagha.
Yes, that's true. Yeah, I remember also Ustad mentioning something like that. Yeah. Yeah. So it's either or. So ghair comes with but the Quran changes and it uses la instead.
Okay.
Yeah. But I think, yeah, that's more balagha. It's interesting. Okay.
Also, it's walad dallina. There's no, it's not sukoon. So the la didn't have any impact on it.
Yeah. Yeah, because it's just either or.
Okay.
Yeah. It's either or structure. Yeah. Thank you for reminding us that. I'd totally completely forgotten about that. Yeah. So anyway, so you have the only case where the khabar is going to be anything else other than mansub is when you have the ba zaida coming in. So obviously it's going to act like a harf of jar. It's going to make the khabar majroor. Going to make it in jar status. And of course the ba comes with ma and it also comes with laysa. And again, of course, when you have the ba, we said extra emphasis. So it's going to add more emphasis into that sentence. So that's negating Jumlah Ismiyyah basically. Don't think there's any, like, yeah, and just like we said, it does not create a muta'alliq bil khabar when you have the ba. It's just going to still remain the khabar, but the ba is going to be zaida. Right, so we can take a look at the Laysa chat. You guys can make sure you memorize this, you know, huwa laysa, laysa, laysu, laysat, laysata, lasna, and of course when you get to the women, we shall see in sarf that the women, they just like to to create a movement and just change everything, and once they do that, everybody else follows suit. So hunna lasna, lasta, lastuma, lastum, lasti, lastuma, lastunna, lastu, lasna, and that's just basically the chat. Of course, Laysa conjugates. We can see Laysa, it has all this, it does sarf. Ma does not. You do not have huwa ma, wa. There's nothing like that. You can't even like, you'll have to manufacture your words in your head for you to do that. So ma does not, but Laysa does. So you have to ask yourself, who is the doer and how do I, sarfify this word according to the doer? So is it two people? Then it's going to be Laysa. Or is it an outside doer, by the way? If it's an outside doer, I'm going to use either the huwa version, Laysa, or Laysat, the here version. So that's Laysa. Don't know if there's any question on Laysa. So I'm just going to go to La Nafiya lil Jins.
For ma, we have to mention, and for Laysa, it's within the Laysa itself.
Yes.
Doer.
Yeah, the doer is inside the Laysa. Or if it's an outside doer, then of course we'll mention the outside doer. Yeah. So we go to now La an-Nafiyatu lil Jins. Now this is the categorical lam of negation. The categorical no. So what happens is that this is a la that means absolutely no. Like there's no room for any doubt. There's no room for any exception. It's completely, absolutely no. And the isim that comes after it, which is called ismula, it will be called ismula, is going to be light and it's going to be nasab status. Like somebody said, what did somebody say? The example of again. La ilaha illallah. Yeah. So you're going to have that example, ilaha is going to be light and it's going to be nasab. Or if you have la ikraha fi dini, most likely it's going to be followed by jar majroor. Like fi dini, la ikraha fi dini, la sharika lahu. So you have la, and then whatever follows it is nasab and it's light. And then you have most likely a jar majroor.
Sister Ilham?
Yeah.
The A, B, C, the C is not a must, right? It could be, or
No.
it can't be, like.
Yeah, most of the time it is. Like most of the time it's like, for example, la ilaha illallah. Illallah is, illa is adatul istithna. This is a tool for exception. It means except this. So whatever comes after it's going to be nasab. Whatever comes after illa. Because that's what it does also. Yeah, that's the job of illa.
Like, la ilaha illa anta subhanaka inni kuntu minaz zalimin. Same like that, right?
Same like that. Yeah. So this is not a must, but most of the time you'd find this is the case, but not a must. So yeah, I know they give examples where you have the jar majroor. So like la bay', this is different. La bay'un, because this is not light and it's not nasab. So this is no la, and I think this is, you see now this is one of those things, because bay' is an ism and it came with la. So
Yeah, so they're saying it's a regular la nafiya.
so yeah, so it looks like it can come. So la also can be used to negate jumla ismiya in a case like this. So yeah, I guess that's something they didn't mention when in this book. So you can also have la. So you have lam plus mudari', you have ma plus madi, you have la plus, no, sorry, what am I saying? You have how do we negate jumla ismiya? What am I forgetting?
For Jumlah Ismiyyah. Ma and Laysa for Jumlah Ismiyyah
Yeah.
and la.
Yes, ma laysa la. Yeah, those three. I was doing madi.
But I think the la doesn't do anything. Like ma or laysa makes the khabar nasab.
Yeah.
Laysa doesn't do anything. It's like just a simple negation, like we do in regular life.
Yeah. Yeah, it doesn't have any effect.
Yeah, and I think the ma is the strongest in Jumla Ismiya, right? Ma plus B.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, ma plus B. Ma plus B. Okay, great. So we had the shared tools of negation, ma plus illa and in plus illa. So these can be used to negate both jumla ismiya and jumla fi'liya. And of course, in plus illa, now this is the strongest form of negation in all of the negation. So in is the strongest. So you have la, then ma, then in as the strongest one. That's kind of like the order in it. So when Allah uses in, he means business. Like this is some serious stuff, right? So that's just kind of like the order is. So ma plus illa or in plus illa means, X, like it has this kind of structure. X did or does nothing but. So like for example in this in huwa illa dhikrun wa Qur'anun mubin, it is nothing but. So nothing but a remembrance and a clear Qur'an. Or you can even add like it is absolutely nothing but a remembrance. Or it is, I don't even know how to, like there's a lot of emphasis when in is used. That's basically it. Ma antum illa basharun mithluna. You are all nothing but human like us. You're just human like us. Yeah. But it's a lot of emphasis. So the positive way of saying this is like you're human like us. But by negating it, you're adding more emphasis. But by saying you're nothing but human, you're nothing except human, right? You're just a human being. But I'm using a negative way of saying it. So obviously there's balagha implication to that as well, using the negation to mean the positive. So that's ma illa in illa. So as you can see, you can use it for jumla ismiya in this case, ma antum, or in huwa, or you can also use it in jumla fi'liya, in yaquluna illa ma ya'kuluna fi butunihim illa. So jumla fi'liya, jumla ismiya. So let's look at the whole summary. So when we're negating jumla fi'liya, we have the past, we have the present, and we have the future. Oh yeah, those lamma also. Yeah, so when you're doing past, you have ma plus mudari'. You have lam plus mudari', majzoom. But of course, we've also said that you can have la. But I think la is not commonly used as ma and lam. And especially in MSA, I don't think la is used. Then you have present, which is ma plus normal present, la plus normal present. Then you have future, again, two. So when you look at jumla fi'liya, there's like two, and of course la, which is not so common. So that's kind of just how you can memorize this or remember this. When you're negating fi'al, in the past, there are two ways. In the present, there are two ways. In the future, there are two ways. So just think about number 2 when you're thinking about how to negate in past, present, or future. Lam, of course, we said it makes it light. And then lamma, when it comes with a mudari', it's going to make it lightest because in lam lamma wal falli. and it will mean not yet. So it's really not a negation, but it's more like this has not yet happened. You understand? So it's like predicting the future that has not yet happened. Yeah, this has not yet happened. So that's kind of like how lamma works. And then negation of jumla ismiya. So yeah.
Oh, sorry. Lamba plus Madi means when, right?
Yes. Yeah. Lamma, when it comes with the madi, it means when. Actually, I was just learning recently, there are actually 4 kinds of lamma, which I didn't know. I thought it was, it's crazy. The more you learn, the more you realize, whoa, we don't know anything really. Subhanallah. But yeah, alhamdulillah, we've come so far. Alhamdulillah for Ustad and for Dream, and the program is just amazing. What we have learned so far in just 2 years, it's truly amazing. Yeah, so you have lamma plus madi means when. Lamma plus present lightest, mudari' majzoom, is going to mean not yet. And then you have negating jumla ismiya. So we have ma and laysa. And of course, there's this la nafiyatul lil jins. Yeah, they wrote, I think something happened with their PDF or something that the letters are just weird, but you can make sense of it. So when it comes with, when ma and laysa are being used, you know it's going to have the khabar is going to be nasab, unless there's a ba zaida. Okay, so it's going to be isim mansoob or it's going to be isim majroor. That's what's going to happen to the khabar. Of course, the muta'alliq bil khabar, nothing happens to it in any case. We are mostly concerned with the khabar. That's where the changes happen with the khabar. And then when you have la nafiyatu lil jins, there's no khabar in this kind of structure. So you can have a muta'alliq bil khabar, but you cannot have a khabar. You can only have the isim of la. So isim of la, and then maybe a muta'alliq bil khabar. So that's just something to... so this is where they came with the option of for la. So options for la, you can either use it for negation, which is kind of what we are doing right now. So just negating a simple negation. Then you have, so this is where you have, but this is with a fa'al. So when you have a fa'al, it just means does not. Lam plus a present tense means he does not. We've seen it here when we're negating present. This la. Lam plus a present not means just he does not. Then you have la tadhab. La plus second person that is majzoom is going to be forbidding. We've done this nahi. When nahi minhu, this is the la for nahi, and it's going to make it majzoom. So this one has an effect. This one does not have an effect. The first one does not have an effect. The second one has an effect. It makes it majzoom because it's forbidding. And then you have the la of should not. This one comes with a third person. So la yadhab. Instead of la tadhab, I'm forbidding you not to go. La tadhab. So it has a sukoon. Don't go. But if I say la yadhab, he shouldn't go. I'm not forbidding him. I'm just suggesting like it would be good if he did not go. You know? So I'm just voicing out my I don't know how to call it, but yeah. So that's the difference between lam of should not and lam of forbidding. They're both majzoom, they're both lightest, but one is second person, that means you, and then the other one is third person, which means he, she, them, they. That's third person. And then when la comes with an ism, it can either be, you know, la nafiyatul lil jins, la of categorical no, makes the ism nasab and light, or like what we just discovered right now, la of negation, and it's common, singular, rafa, it's heavy, there is no, it just means there is no. That's what, there's no absolutely, there's no emphasis in this one. So that's the difference between the two. And then of course you have, we talked about ba zaida, but then we can also have min zaida. And min zaida, what will happen with a min zaida is it will either, if it's a jumla ismiya, it will attach itself to a mubtada. If it's a jumla ismiya, it will attach to itself to a mubtada. If it's a jumla fi'liya, it's going to attach itself to a fa'il or a maf'ul bihi. So this is how you know min zaida. Like, you know, this is extra because it has attached itself to a fa'il. If I remove the min, I still have a fa'il, I still have a fa'il, I still have a maf'ul, and the sentence makes sense. So you know, okay, this min is definitely zaida here. And if you already have a maf'ul bihi, then most likely it's going to be the fa'il. If it's attached to something and you've already identified a maf'ul bihi, then most likely it's going to be the fa'il. And I think these ones, they will become more clearer when we start doing the drills, because once we start doing the practice, then it'll become more natural as opposed to just reading this stuff. And of course, we talked about ma illa, in illa means nothing but, or has that emphasis, or it can also mean only, depending on the context. So that's basically chapter 9. Don't know if there are any questions.
Yes, I have a question. So the law with any fa'al, it is I think without it, here law of negation. Law, this one, sorry, with fa'al, law of should not. So the third person lightest. So here the person needs, or fa'al needs to be mudari or madi, or both are allowed.
No, you can only use mudari.
Oh yes,
Yeah.
because madi doesn't have
Lightest.
like,
Yes.
yeah, right.
Yeah.
And if the law comes, can the law come with the heavy fa'al, mudari, like la yansuru? Is it possible?
If you say la yansuru, then it's going to be just this normal one. It's just going to be normal negation, the first one. La yansuru, he does not help.
Okay.
But if you say la yansur, then you're actually saying he should not help. See how tricky that is?
Yes, yes.
Yeah. So you could even be saying, like, because Arabs don't pronounce the last haraka. So if you just say la yansur, you could understand he means he should not help, or it could also mean he does not help.
Yes.
It's
And
tricky.
if you say la tansur, then don't help.
Yes, if you say la tansur, don't help. So, yeah, it's interesting that way.
Yes, had a really crazy barbecue as a start there.
Yeah, I think it reached a point in that barbecue where they just started like, they were like, no,
Yeah,
this is
maybe.
too simple. Let's make it complicated.
Yeah, maybe the sauce were too hot for them.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, they had too much sauce.
Yeah.
Oh, well, I think like, yeah, when they got to numbers, they were like, now, okay, now let's complicate everything because, let's make people's lives hard. I don't know. Oh, but alhamdulillah.
Alhamdulillah, with little haraka, meaning changes.
Yeah, a tiny, like a sukun, just a sukun. And these
Yeah.
people actually don't put harakas in the last, word, in the last letter. So, like, how do you know? Crazy.
They play a lot of mind games even in language.
Yeah. Yeah, totally. Oh. Yeah. That's the beauty of the Arabic language. It's so beautiful. Like one tiny thing changes everything. Yeah. So let's look at some in the next few minutes that we have. We can start some drills and check out what we can be able to do. So negating in the past, negating in the present, negating the future. So this is basically drills on fi'als, negating fi'als, jumla fi'aliyas. Right. So what they've given us this table. We have ماضي معلوم, مضارع معلوم, ماضي مجهول, so on and so forth. فعل فاعل متعلق بالخبر, and so on. And we are supposed to identify this ayat, label accordingly. So this, I think, is just more of a general thing, not necessarily negation as such. Oh, there is negation here. Okay, fine. So we have قل. What do you think? What is قل?
Amr.
أمر. لا أقول.
Nahi.
Yeah. So yeah, of course they didn't distinguish between them. So this is just a normal negation, right? Remember when we have la plus a mudari' that has a sukun that is just normal. It's not light. It's not lightest. It's just normal. أقول, I say. So قال يقول. So يقول, يقولان, يقولون, all the way up to أنا أقول. This is me saying. Yeah. Okay. So that will be just a normal negation. لكم.
متعلق بالخبر فعل.
They didn't give us an option for متعلق بالفعل. Yeah. So that's a bit odd. I don't know what to put. Should we just...
Maybe put 7 because
Is it 3?
3 is خبر متعلق بالخبر
خبر.
unless they made a
All right.
mistake.
let's make 3.1.
Yeah, okay. We can invent our own. 3.1 means متعلق بالفعل. And of
Okay.
course, عندي
In the another متعلق.
yeah,
No,
بال
yeah, and the
or we can actually look at it as متعلق بالخبر مقدم,
mhm.
so that we look at this sentence like this. So like, you know, جملة اسمية, sometimes you can have متعلق بالخبر coming in the beginning and then the مبتدا coming later.
Yes.
So then
Yeah.
is لكم also متعلق بالخبر مقدم of the sentence خزائن الله?
Yes. Yeah. So عندي would be the متعلق بالخبر مقدم because عندي,
Yes.
and then whatever comes after it is رفع. So it looks like a مبتدا, but it's مضاف also.
I'm talking about لكم, sister.
لكم.
Can we say that it's also متعلق بالخبر of this خزائن الله?
No. No. لكم عندي no. So لا أقول لكم. I do not say to you.
Oh yeah, right.
Yeah. So this one is definitely متعلق to the فعل.
Yeah.
Who do I say to? To you. Yeah. Because it won't make sense to say I عندي خزائن الله. I have the خزائن, the treasures of Allah to you. Like it doesn't fit in the sentence. So that's
For
kind of
you,
just
for you.
oh
For you.
So
for you.
would that mean it's a maf'ul rather than a 3.1?
Well, it could be, yes. It could be a maf'ul. Could actually be a maf'ul.
Because it's after la aqulu, which is a mudare.
Yeah, it could actually be, yes, it could be a maf'ul bihi maqul al-qawl. But what is this? No, the whole thing, لا أقول عندي خزائن, this would be the maf'ul. I don't know if it's a maf'ul. That's a bit confusing.
If you translate this, would it la aqulu lakum would be I do not say to you all.
Yes, that's exactly what it means. So to you
So
all,
I do not say
it's a
to you
muta'alliq.
all would be a muta'alliq. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, I think this one will confirm with the answer key, but if they did a 3 there, then we assume that the متعلق بالخبر is actually متعلق بالفعل and they made a typo. Although there's still a متعلق بالخبر here. So I don't know. This is a little bit confusing. I guess we'll look at the answer key to see what they came up with.
Better to look at the answer key.
You want us to look at now?
Yeah, because then will be clear what it is exactly.
Okay. Yeah, we can look. 6. What is 6? مفعول. So it is a مفعول. What kind of a مفعول then?
Yeah, in the translation it says say, in the bracket it says, O Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, I do not tell you that I have the or the contain, I have the keys or what is it, depositories of Allah, or containing the provision of Allah.
Can you be able to go to Furqan and just check the lakum, how they
Okay.
they did the i'rab of
Yeah.
that, because I'm a bit confused here.
I just checked it and it says jar majrur mutaliqani.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the only thing. I don't see how it's a maf'ul. It doesn't make any sense. Yeah, so sometimes they make mistakes in this drills and in the book also, so we just have to be careful like that. So yeah, so I think our 3.1 works here. We'll call that متعلق بالفعل. And then عندي, that will be the متعلق بالخبر now, مقدم. Then of course خزائن الله will be the مبتدا. What is the مبتدا? 1. Okay. And then we have ولا أعلم الغيب. What do you guys think? What is الغيبة?
مفعول.
Yes. So this is definitely a مفعول because you have a فعل أعلم is a فعل and you already know the doer is أنا أعلم.
One question is the run is
Uh-huh.
أعلم فعل or is it اسم تفضيل like أكبر?
No, it's اسم. أنا
اسم.
أعلم. Yeah, this is one of those. So because
Okay.
it comes with a لا نافية لا نافية لا
Yes.
لا نافية, yeah, it comes with a la of negation. So this is مضارع. We know لا comes most of the time. لا comes with مضارع.
Okay. So علم يعلم. Okay.
Yeah.
So yes. Okay. So the comparative and the مضارع looks quite similar, like أعلم أكبر.
Yeah, and that's why it is partly flexible when it comes to the ism, because it looks similar to a fi'al, and you're like, what is this? Is this a fi'al? Is it an ism? So context would just tell you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Ilham?
Yes,
Yeah, can I have a question?
sure.
Can I ask it? Yeah, in first one, in the Khazainullahi will also be maf'ul bihi fi mahalli nasab, no?
Yes, مقول القول. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, of
No,
أقول.
I mean that, yeah, it's aqulu is
Yes.
fair and it in the that Jumlah Ismiyyah is fi mahalli nasab maf'ul bihi.
Yes, مفعول به, which is also, it's also called مقول القول, the
Yeah,
thing
okay.
being said.
Okay, because kul
Yeah.
has given there, no?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
So every time you have قل, say, or any similar words like تحدث, also speak. Like when you're commanding somebody to talk, there's going to be like a مقول القول after it, which is always going to be في محل نسب مفعول به. Yeah.
Sister
But
Nihan?
that whole sentence will be maqulul qawl, I
Yes.
think.
Yes,
La
the whole
aqulu
sentence.
lakum indi khazainullahi.
عندي
Or
خزائن
this
الله. Just this part will be the مقول
not
القول.
from the beginning.
No.
Okay.
Oh, so this is another, sorry.
Yeah,
There's
that's what I'm thinking. Is it a break in the chain? So the lakum is the only part مقول القول and عندي خزائن الله, I think it is a different sentence. Am I right?
Yes. So we have the first قل. Sorry, I had not seen that for some reason. I don't know why. So the first قل, then whatever comes after the قل, all of it is going to be its مفعول.
Maqulul qawl.
Yeah, it's مقول القول. Then inside that مقول القول, you have another أقول. You have another
Yeah.
قل.
Yeah.
So
Okay, then for this one, the second one in the khazainullahi is the maqulul qawl.
yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, sister, is it like a speech within a speech? Like,
Yes.
about,
Exactly. Exactly. A speech within a speech. Yeah.
okay, thank you.
Can I just put another wrench in here?
Sure.
It says indi is zarf makan mutaliq بمحذوف خبر مقدم.
بمعطوف خبر مقدم. Okay, so that's
No,
yeah.
not matuf. Sorry, mahzuf.
Okay. بما
Hidden.
Yeah, I get it. So normally, so here's the thing. When you have a جملة اسمية, you remember the structure of جملة اسمية is مبتدأ, then خبر, then متعلق بالخبر. But essentially, this is how Ustad taught us. But essentially, what is most important is just the mubtada and the khabar. So when the khabar is not there, the Arabs would assume it is still there, but it's just hidden. Like it's just peeking behind the bushes. Doesn't want to be seen. So they will still say this muta'alliq is still muta'alliq to a khabar that is just hiding. Like it's somewhere, it's just hiding. Like you remember the examples we gave in EMSA, and we were like, هو موجود في مكتبه. He is present in his office. Sometimes they can just say هو في مكتبه. they just hide the موجود part. They're like, okay, we understand, like he's present in his office. I don't need to mention present. You understand when I say هو موجود هو في مكتبه, I mean هو موجود في مكتبه. So that's just kind of how they looked at it. So when they say عندي is متعلق to a خبر that is محذوف, basically that's just what they're saying, like this is a مبتدا متعلق بالخبر sentence. The خبر is hiding. That's kind of just what they're saying. Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, great. Okay, so we can continue, I think. Then you have ولا أقول لكم إني ملك. So kind of like the same structure here. Yeah. So you have إني, what kind of, that's إن plus its ism. So it tells you that's the مبتدا. And of course ملك, it's light and it's رفع, comes after a مبتدا, definitely a خبر. So this is going to be our خبر. Clear so far? All right. إن أتبع. You guys think?
فعل مضارع.
Yeah.
أنا موجود.
Is it معلوم or مجهول?
معلوم.
Yeah. So you can actually, there's no UA sound because مضارع you have UA, monkey sounds, when it is مضارع. UI when it is ماضي. So that's just, yeah. Go to the zoo someday and just practice UA, UI and see what the monkeys do. I don't know what they'll do, but yeah, that'll be interesting to know. Okay, so that's فعل مضارع معلوم. Then we have ما أشهدتهم. So this ما is ما نافية. And then it's saying ما أشهدتهم. أشهدت. What do you guys hear? أشهدتهم.
أنا أول شيء.
It's أنا
فعل
version.
ماضي.
Yeah, فعل ماضي.
ماضي.
أنا version. أنا أشهدت. Yeah, so this is going to be ماضي معلوم, which is A. And of course the whom is the attached pronoun, which is going to be what?
مفعول به.
مفعول به.
Yeah, so that's our مفعول به there. And then we have قولهم. فلا يحزنك. Sorry, فلا يحزنك قولهم. What do you guys think?
مفعول.
مفعول به.
قولو. It's رفع.
Oh, it is a
Okay.
file, outside file.
So this is our outside file. Because you have يحزن, because the attached pronoun came there, and also because this la is jazima, so it made that sukun. So لا يحزنك. So we know this is the huwa version, because
So this
يحزن.
will create a meaning of should not here, right?
Yes, this is
Mhm.
should not, like their speech should not sadden you. Allah is basically encouraging the Prophet in these words, like don't be bothered by their words. They shouldn't sadden you. Their words shouldn't sadden you. I mean, the Prophet ﷺ is guaranteed Jannah. He is given, inshallah, we hope that he will be given Maqam al-Mahmud, the most special part of Jannah, the highest part of Jannah, you know. And so their words, they shouldn't bother you. They shouldn't make you sad. That's kind of like what Allah is saying to the Prophet ﷺ. So qawlu, because it's after and it's rafa, is going to be the outside fa'il, and of course the hum is going to be the maf'ul bihi. Sorry, what is the hum? No, I'm confusing myself. The hum, of course, is just going to be the jar. It's idafa.
Yeah, idafa. It's mudaf
Yeah.
mudaf ilayh, and whole is file.
Yes. And then we have inna. What can I say? When I pronounce these things, you just have to imagine, is it jumla fi'liya, jumla ismiya immediately? If I'm talking about a fi'l, what are you going to do? If I'm talking about an ism, what are you going to do? So we have inna, then we have na'lamu.
Jumla failure.
Yeah. So you have jumla fi'liya here, and na'lamu will be the fi'l. نحن نعلم.
Sister, is it جملة اسمية إن نعلم ما يسرون وما يعلنون والخبر في محل رفع?
Yeah. So the thing is this, when you see ism, or when you see jumla ismiya, it doesn't automatically mean, when you see an ism, it doesn't automatically mean it's jumla ismiya. But when you see a fi'l, automatically means jumla fi'liya. So that's the trick. So normally when you see Jumla Ismiyyah, it's good to just go ahead and see what comes next. So if whatever comes next looks like a khabar, then that's going to be Jumla Ismiyyah. But if whatever comes next doesn't look like a khabar, then most likely you're dealing with something else. And in this case, we are dealing with a mixed sentence. So you have a mubtada and another jumla, which is a khabar, fi mahalli rafa. So the whole thing, نَعْلَمُ مَا يُسِرُّونَ وَمَا يُعْلِنُونَ, will be the khabar of inna, right? So this is kind of like a mixed sentence.
Okay.
So نَعْلَمُ, this is, we said this is نَحْنُ نَعْلَمُ.
فعل مضارع.
Yeah, مضارع معلوم. Okay. أم يحسبون, يحسبون, ya beginning, una ending. That should be like a dead giveaway. When I hear ya beginning, una ending,
فعل مضارع.
Yeah.
واجب.
yes. أنا لا نسمع, نسمع. أو أنا, أو أنا لا نسمع, نسمع.
نحن.
نحن.
فعل مضارع.
Yeah. Again,
نحن.
just a normal فعل مضارع معلوم. سرهم ونجواهم, نجواهم. I don't know what they wanted us to do here, but I think we just look at the sentence. So نسمع, that will be the فعل. So نجوى,
مضارع. فعل مضارع.
yeah. So نسمع would be the فعل مضارع. Okay.
Mm.
So that's our فعل. The فاعل is نحن inside pronoun, right? So we
Right.
could be looking for either a مفعول, متعلق بالفعل, or maybe other things in the sentence. Then we have سرهم, which is also متعلق, which نجواهم is متعلق to سرهم, which tells us that these things are kind of like connected. What do you think سر is? So see, سر has a fatha. So that tells you this is kind of like a مفعول, maybe. When you see a fatha most of the time in something nasab in a sentence, in a jumla fi'aliyah, most of the time it's going to be a maf'ul, but not 100%. You could see a tamyiz and then you say, oh, maf'ul, no. You could see something else and say it's a maf'ul, no. So, but most of the time it's going to be a maf'ul. Like I mentioned, there are about 16 kinds of nasabs in language. So, but most of them are actually maf'uls. I think about like 6. So 6 out of 16 maf'ul. And then the other things. نجواهم. Okay, so that we said that. بلى ورسلنا ورسلنا رسل. Yeah. Yeah, because it's the first rafa in this sentence, so this is going to be a mubtada, because bala is just a harf. Like it means yes. Like there's nothing to it. It's just yes. So ورسلنا first rafa, that's going to be our mubtada. Any questions there?
No.
Okay. فبذلك. So fa حرف عطف, b حرف جار, and then we have ذلك.
مجرور. جار مجرور.
Yeah, so this is the jar majroor happening here. So then we read again, we just read a bit further to see, is it متعلق بالخبر or is it متعلق بالفعل? What's happening here? So فليفرحوا. So of course فل makes it light.
فعل مضارع. The new version. The lightest.
Yeah. Did they give us an option for that? No. Oh, majhul. No, this is just majhul. No, they didn't give an option for majzoom. So we'll just say, okay, fine. This is فعل مضارع, but we know it's majzoom because of fal. You know, إن لم لما والفل لي. So that's why it's not يفرحون, but يفرحوا. Yeah. And then هو, so you start thinking, what kind of sentence is this? Then خير. Yes.
خبر.
Exactly. خبر مما يجمعون.
فعل مضارع.
Yeah, beginning on an ending. So that's pretty much, oh, and we are actually at time. So I think we can continue off with the exercises. Oh, we didn't. This one we said it was متعلق بالفعل. Did they give us an option for متعلق بالفعل?
3.1.
Huh, yeah. So again,
3.1.
3.1. Okay. Unless it's a مفعول. No, it's just, yep. This is going to be a jar majrur. It's nothing else. Cannot be anything else. Yeah. So I think we can stop there for today. If there's any questions, we can take them. If not, I can officially end and stick around for a few minutes. Okay. سبحانك اللهم بحمدك نشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت نستغفرك ونتوب إليك.